iHeart, get ready. Fantasy football is here. Welcome to the Scout Fantasy Show. ScoutFantasy.com is home to the Fantasy Football World Championships and the best players in the world. Real money winners giving their secrets to help you win. Now exclusively on iHeart. This is the Scout Fantasy Show with your host, the one, the only, Dr. Roto.
Everybody, it's Dr. Roto. Get out the insurance cards. Get out the copay. The office is open, my friends. And today, it's the Green Bay Packers preview. So let's get it started. And we begin and end with the Green Bay Packers, always with Aaron Rodgers. Absolutely one of the top two quarterbacks in the NFL. One of the top two quarterbacks in fantasy football. You've got Rodgers, you got Tom Brady, you got Rodgers. Whichever way you want to select them, I have no problem. Those are the best two players. Last year, Rodgers had more attempts than he'd ever had in his career. 610 attempts. That was about 40 more than his previous high. And he connected on 65% of them. He was forced to throw more than ever, because of all the injuries they had at running back, right? And bad performances at running back. So they were forced to throw the ball and forced to use Ty Montgomery, who we'll be talking about later. And that's why Rodgers had 40 touchdowns. I mean, he had 40 touchdowns, 7 interceptions. So let me say this about Aaron Rodgers, and you will understand. If you are in a 6-point per touchdown league, I would draft Aaron Rodgers within the first 3 to 4 rounds. I would. If I'm in a 4-point per touchdown league, I probably would wait till round 7 or so. Now, I know that means I'm probably not going to get him in either league. So when I say that, it's because I play in high stakes or I play with experts. I'm not playing in a home league. In a home league, you're going to have to take him in the first round because some dude next to you is going to take him in the first round. I'm never going to do that. That's just never going to happen. In an expert league, I know experts usually take quarterbacks around 5, round 6. High stakes people won't take, we took Aaron Rodgers around 9 last year in Vegas. So people just don't like taking quarterbacks. In a 6-point per touchdown league, when Aaron Rodgers gets you his 4 touchdown games, and last year he had 4 of them, that's 24 points right there. Now, but you're like, Dr. Roto, in a 4-point league, isn't it the same? It's really not, because those 4 touchdowns are only worth 16. 24 points is a lot. So if Aaron Rodgers goes off for a 351-yard, 3-touchdown game in a 6-point league, that's putting up big numbers. Big numbers. And those numbers are not as big in a 4-point league. So I think Aaron Rodgers is better. Now, you guys can prove the math, blah, blah, blah. I'm just going to tell you what I just told you. It makes a difference for me in a 6-point league. Not on every week when he has 2 touchdowns, but when he has the big week, and he's going to have 4 to 5 big weeks a year, you pretty much guarantee yourself a win if the rest of your team doesn't suck on those weeks. Now, I was in a big league last year, and I had Aaron Rodgers. It was a 6-point per touchdown league, and I lost in the semifinals. Why? Because in week 15 at Chicago, when it was super cold out there, he went 19 for 31 and 252 yards and 0 touchdowns. That can happen. This is football. Aaron Rodgers won't always be sensational. Every quarterback can put up a clunker. What you're trying to do is limit your clunkers. For the most part, though, each week, 2-1-4, 2-1-3-4, 3-2, 3-2, 2-3, 0-4, 4. That's all the touchdowns he threw. He gave me his worst week, the worst time. And the worst part was, I knew not to start him that week, but what was my choice? Am I going to bench Aaron Rodgers? I'm either a genius for doing it or the biggest idiot on planet Earth. And I can't do that either. So you're stuck with Rodgers when he has a good game. You're stuck with him when he has a bad game. Most of the time, he's going to have a great game. But every quarterback does have a bad week or two. It happens. But that's my thought for you. If you're in a home league, take him in round 2. If you're in an expert league, take him in round 5 or 6. And if you're in a high stakes league, take him around 7, 8, or 9. Do it before at your own risk. All right, at running back, I really like Ty Montgomery way more than I thought I would. And I think that Ty Montgomery is going to be a very sneaky player this year. I do. I think he could have about 500 to 600 yards rushing and 500 to 600 yards receiving. So at the end of the day, I think we're looking at a 1,000-yard guy, right? So I'm going to get 1,000 points. I'm going to get about 50 catches, right? And I'm going to get about, 6 touchdowns? So I think he's going to be decent. I don't think he's sensational, but I think he's decent. So keep your eye on him as a good running back 2. I don't think he's a running back 1. I don't, but I think he's a pretty good running back 2. Certainly he's better than Theo Riddick. Certainly he's better than Danny Woodhead. Certainly he's better than Bilal Powell. And his upside is immense. His upside is immense. Right? Because what if he runs for 1,000 yards and catches for 500? That is possible, by the way. So I would be open if I started my draft receiver, and then went running back. I would have no problem taking Ty Montgomery in round 5. I don't know if I'll get him there, but I have no problem taking him there. I think that actually makes a lot of sense to me. Like I said, I don't know if that's what's going to happen, but let me see here. I did this for you yesterday. I'll do it for you today. Got to get to my handy dandy sheet to find out where he went. Ty Montgomery is going anywhere from 35 to 66, and he's hovering around 52. That means he's going in round 5. So depending on where I pick in round 5 is where I could get him. But some dude took him in the end of round 3. That's not going to be me. But I think in round 4, I like round 5 better. I do. I like round 5 better. That makes more sense to me. Okay, 2 running backs to talk about, 2 rookies. So do you remember Zan and Jaina, the Wonder Twins? Form of Ostrich, form of Ice Bucket. Remember that? The Justice League. I think Jamal Williams and Aaron Jones, when you combine them, are like the Wonder Twins. Separately on their own, they're not great. Put them together, you got something special. So Jamal Williams is a big, bruising, strong running back. He is not a pass catcher, and he is not a great athlete. He is just a large man who runs into piles and runs very hard. And there's value there, especially around the goal line. This guy could easily be a goal line back for them. Aaron Jones is a small dude from Texas, from UTEP, but he's pretty good, catches the ball beautifully. He's quick. He's 5'9". He's more of a scat back. So you put these guys together. See, Ty Montgomery is the whole package. He could do everything. If Ty Montgomery should get hurt, Williams is going to get the carries, and Jones is going to get a lot of the receptions. Put them together, you got one good player. Separately, they both can do their job, but Jamal Williams is more like LeGarrette Blount. That's who he's reminiscent of. Whereas Aaron Jones may be more like maybe a bigger Darren Sproles, but that's what we're talking about here. So that's the size-wise, and that's how it's going to play out. But look, in drafts, late in the draft, I have no problem with either of those guys. None. Stash and cash, baby. Stash and cash. All right, at wide receiver, Jordy Nelson. If I have to tell you to draft Jordy Nelson, don't be listening to this podcast. Get into another line of work. Jordy Nelson's a star. 97 catches last year, 98 in 2014. I think he's going to get another 90 this year. Always good for over 1,000 yards receiving. Always good for double-digit touchdowns. He is Aaron Rodgers' favorite target, and Aaron Rodgers, a top 2 quarterback. Does it get any better than that? No, it does not get any better than that. You want to take Jordy Nelson the end of round 1? You have my blessing. Jordy Nelson's going anywhere from 10 to 14. You want to take him in round 1? You want to pray in round 2 that you get him. That's where he's going. His ADP is about 11. That is exactly the right number for him. All right, Davante Adams, I'm a little more concerned with. There are certain things you should look at with Davante Adams The guy had 75 catches for 997 yards last year. That's not a great number. I don't know if he has great hands. I think he's a solid player. I do. But I'm just not sure how much I trust him. So, look, Randall Cobb was terrible last year. Jared Cook was okay, not special. They needed Adams to step up, and he did. And I think he did a great job, but I think he's being overdrafted. Davante Adams is going anywhere from 26 to 41. He's a early third round pick. I would take him late third, but I'm not loving him. I'm really not loving him. I like him, I'm not loving him. I want more yards. I certainly want more yards. I don't know if I'm going to get 12 touchdowns. And 75 receptions is good, but it's not great. He's the number 2 receiver on a great team. But don't forget who the number 3 receiver is. A guy named Randall Cobb. Now, Randall Cobb has had some sensational years for this team. But last year, he was injured. But can he rebound? Absolutely. Could he be, the comeback player of the year? Maybe. I mean, look, I took him in the second round of Las Vegas last year. Second round. So that tells you what his reputation was coming into this last year. Now he's going at 72. Anywhere from 57 to 91. Are you kidding me? 91 for Randall Cobb? That is a gift. If I can get Randall Cobb as my wide receiver 4, I am all in. I don't want him as my 1, 2, or 3, but if I can take him as my 4, I'll be pretty happy with that. I think he gets 70 catches, maybe 900 yards, maybe 8 or 9 touchdowns. He finds ways to get open, and Aaron Rodgers likes him. So people are going to forget about Cobb because of how good Adams was. Don't you forget about Cobb. He's an interesting player. And also at tight end, our guy, Marty B. That's right, Martellus Bennett, the Black Unicorn. Gotta love that nickname. Now, Marty B has always thought of himself as a better player than he is. But back in 2014, he did have 90 catches for the Bears for 916 yards. Now, that's not going to happen here. Not going to get 90 catches with Aaron Rodgers, with Jordy Nelson, with Ty Montgomery. But could he get you 60? Could he get you 60 for 600 and 7 or 8 touchdowns? Yeah, I think he can. I think he's finally in a spot where they'll go to him, right? Where they'll really go to him and give him the opportunity because Marty B wants the football. I love guys who want the football. I love when Brandon Marshall gets in the huddle and goes, give me the football. I want the football. I want Marty B to want the football. You want a guy in the huddle? Yeah, pass it to him. I want guys who are greedy. Be a greedy pig. You know, when I played volleyball, I was a setter, and I used to like hitters. Give me the ball. I'm here. I'm open. I want to hear that. It means you want to make a play. You want to make a play. I respect that. Marty B is a very good receiver, and let me tell you something. The Packers haven't had a guy this good since Jermichael Finley, who really wasn't that good. He was a little overrated. Bad hands for Jermichael Finley. Martellus Bennett, much better hands. I like this guy this year. I do. He's going to have a good year. At kicker, there's Mason Crosby. I don't really trust Mason Crosby, but he plays on a good team, and he's solid. Gets a lot of extra points. He gets you like 7 points a week. Not great. It's not bad. It's okay. Tight, as we say. Tight. But, I mean, I think he's a bigger name than he should be. I don't really trust Mason Crosby. He's okay. But I think here what we're looking at is Aaron Rodgers, as we know. Ty Montgomery could be special. Could be. Look, let's get back to Ty Montgomery for a second. At his worst, he's Theo Riddick. At his worst, he's Theo Riddick. Right? That's a bad year. At his best, could he be Lamar Miller? DeMarco Murray? Maybe. Just throwing it out there. Is that possible? Maybe. Love Jordy Nelson. Down a little bit on Davante Adams. Want to watch Randall Cobb closely. Like Martellus Bennett. to have a really good comeback year. And that's the Green Bay Packers in a nutshell. But I think this team comes back to drafting your quarterbacks. So I've told the story in the radio. I'll tell it here. I know you guys know I was pretty sick a couple months ago, and I was in the doctor's office, and of course the doctors know that I'm Dr. Roto. And some guy goes, "Hey, I heard you're really good at this fantasy football thing." I'm like, "Yeah, I'm all right." And he goes, "Well, I didn't do very well in my fantasy football league last year." I said, "Well, why is that?" He goes, "Well, I took Rob Gronkowski in round 1 and Russell Wilson in round 2. I said, "Well, there's your answer right there, dude. Seriously, there's your answer right there." And he looks at me like I'm crazy. Seriously, I'm not crazy. I'm a lot of things, but I'm not crazy about fantasy. I'm not crazy. And I'm like, look, don't take your quarterback till round 7. Get 3 running backs, get 3 receivers, then take a quarterback. And not in that order, but just get 6 players and then your quarterback. He couldn't conceptualize this thing. Couldn't. Now, this guy's a cardiologist, but he couldn't conceptualize waiting on his quarterback. Aaron Rodgers is a very amazing player. He's fun to watch. He's a tremendous athlete, and he helps you win. But at the end of the day, is there a big difference between him and Kirk Cousins? Is that a big difference between him and Matt Ryan? Is there a big difference between him and Russell Wilson? You don't need to take your quarterback early to win a fantasy football championship. You just don't. You can still win. I promise you this. You can win with Ben Roethlisberger. You can win with Russell Wilson. You don't need Drew Brees or Aaron Rodgers to win. That said, I want them, but only at the right time. You know what else is the right time? It's the right time to put away the insurance cards, put away the copay. The office is closed, my friends. Join Scout Fantasy right now. Put in the promo code ROTO, that's ROTO. Pay for 1 month, get 2 more for free. Simple as that. You get access to all the best guys in the industry. Sean Childs, Adam Ronis, myself, Manfuego Steve. A lot of guys here, winners who are trying to help you be successful. Also, go to playffwc.com. Join one of our leagues. Draft and Go Online Championship, Fantasy Football World Championship, the main event in Las Vegas. Hey there, if you live in the West Coast, drive to Las Vegas. Come play one of our live drafts at the Palms Hotel. It is going to be the bomb.com this year. Really looking forward to drafting in suites. And if you want, get in the Beat Dr. Roto League, get in the Beat Adam Ronis League, or take us on for the main event for the Fantasy Football World Championship belt. All right, guys, wishing you a great day. Be well. Take care.
Thanks for listening to the Scout Fantasy Show. There's never been a better time to join the Scout Army. Visit scoutfantasy.com. Use the promo ROTO for 2 months free. And don't forget, fantasy players, please thumbs up the podcast on the iHeart app. See you next time. Go Scouts!